Hey, before we get into episode 46 of White Heat, we got to talk about that foosball. All right, I'm kidding. It's football. But hey, that's the Albany Empire. They are kicking off their 2022 season and defending their National Arena League championship this coming weekend, Saturday, April the 23rd, as they kick off with a home opener against the Carolina Cobras. Godzilla Media will be hosting the pregame show starting at 3:30 p.m. live from the MVP Arena. And don't forget about the pregame block party as well, right outside the arena, weather permitting. If not, they'll probably move it into the atrium of the arena. Either way, should be a great time to go hang out and then, of course, catch some great arena football. If you want to catch the pregame show from Godzilla Media, you can check it out on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. And, of course, you just go say hi to the guys there when they're at the MVP Arena. Go say hi to Godzilla Levac. Also, don't forget, Godzilla Media is going to be live this year covering the first round of the NFL Draft next Thursday, April the 29th, from Iron's Edge, the new restaurant at Boston Spa Country Club. You can join Godzilla Media live on location. We're going to start things at 6:30, and we're going to be there through the entire first round of the draft. They're going to have great drink specials, food, and, of course, great football fans looking to boo whatever team, whatever their draft pick their team makes, especially if they're Jets fans. They love booing their draft picks for whatever reason. For more information on the upcoming draft night broadcast and all other live broadcasts, make sure you go visit GodzillaMedia.com or just watch and listen to all of your Godzilla Media podcasts in the time ahead. That being said, welcome to episode 46 of White Heat. I'm Brian Cady. That's JJ Alexander. JJ, say hello to the beautiful people.
Mama said foosball's the devil.
Foosball's the devil. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I had to make the water boy reference. I couldn't help myself. That all being said, how you doing?
Been better.
Same shit, different day, essentially.
Sleep schedule has sucked the past few days because of this one over here. Yeah, you.
Mr. Titus, damn you.
Yes.
Damn you to hell.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but because all dogs go to heaven. Any hooser, we have a bunch of shit to get into, so let's just jump right in. I mean, it's literally all over the place. Let's start with, because there's actually more news than usual coming out of this group right here, and that's New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, they did have Windy City Riot, their event in Chicago over the weekend, but there's other news to get to. First off, beginning with Juice Robinson, essentially announcing that he is not, as of right now, returning to New Japan. He originally had his contract ending January 31st. He signed a 3-month extension so he could honor his booking for Windy City Riot with the New Japan Strong brand that just happened this weekend, and also get New Japan through whatever creative they had booked for him at the time. As of right now, though, he does not have any plans on renewing his contract for the long term or coming back to New Japan, period. He has said, though, quote, "It's on good terms. It's just I've gotten to a point now where I understand what the job entails. I don't know if I want to do that still. I don't know if I want to continue to do the job in which it needs to be done as far as travel and being away from home." When he was
He also said he'd be content with being a house husband, which goes to show, guarantee, stupid ass Tony Khan paid way too much for Tony Storm.
Well, other quotes he had, because this was from an interview he had with the Fightful podcast, when asked about if he's going to continue wrestling or move on to something, he said definitely taking far, far less dates, moving on to something else pending and in the process of, but definitely far less dates, whatever the hell that quote means. So it sounds like he's not completely leaving wrestling, but he's definitely going to cut back a lot on his schedule. And then another possibility brought up was whether or not he could return to Impact, as he is a former Impact Tag Team Champion with Dave Finlay when they had all the New Japan Impact stuff going on. And Juice said, quote, "There's a lot of people that are going through the door at Impact, in and out. Some guys stayed for a while. I kind of went for a little while and left. I would bet that I'll be back for sure in some capacity. We have a great relationship. They're really good people. I love working for those people. I love going away for those weekends. So, yeah, I'd say just stay tuned. I'll be there, I'm sure." So
he may show up on Saturday.
Touche, because they do have the Rebellion pay-per-view, and I mean, I know New Japan has some house show dates this week. Let me take a look here at the schedule. They do have dates. Actually, they just had a show in Aichi today, and then
Mhm.
they have dates in Tokyo Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Osaka and Friday. And then other dates throughout the weekend going into next week, including Hiroshima Monday and Wednesday. And then Wrestling Dontaku
It's
is
gonna
not
be the
this.
bomb.
It's Sunday, May 1st, so a week from this coming Sunday, as we're recording this on Monday, April 18th. Um, so that's the news on Juice. However, as one door closes, another one opens. As I mean, I'll declare him a friend of the program because fuck it, I will.
Hmm.
Mr. Dickinson, Chris Dickinson,
Hell
who
yes.
made his return to the ring around the time of Mania weekend. He made an announcement in the past week saying, quote, and this is from his Instagram, by the way. Dickinson says, quote, I'm beyond proud to announce that I have officially signed an agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've heard you all for years say I should sign with other companies, and I appreciate every one of your hopes for my success, but this is what I've always wanted. With the company's expansion in the U.S. on the rise and Japan finally reopening, the future is brighter than ever. I'm still available to work independently in the U.S. and internationally, excluding Japan,
Mhm.
but New Japan Pro Wrestling is now home. Let's continue to bring the highest level of pro wrestling to the world together. End quote.
He
You're a happy person, aren't you?
very. They
So,
People have slept on Chris Dickinson for far too long. I've said it time and time again, and
mhm.
I'm over the moon ecstatic for him, and I cannot wait to see because he's proven himself with the strong brand, so
Mhm.
they know what they've got in him, and we're gonna see some freaking bangers from him. I am chomping at the bit for Dickinson versus Cobb, for Dickinson versus freaking Naito. Like, gimme it all.
Ishii,
Yeah, Dickinson versus Ishii. Yep.
Minoru Suzuki, if his star has been killed already enough.
Well, I mean, they've already worked each other a bunch of times, and they've proven that they work well together. So
Yeah, but I don't think they've actually. I don't think they. I mean, those bookings have all been in the U.S. though, haven't they?
yeah, they have.
So it wouldn't hurt to have at least once in front of a Japan crowd. I don't think
Right. Yeah.
where they'd
Yeah.
actually be appreciated. But that's
It's appreciated over here.
yes and no.
Eh.
Um. So that's that. Um. Windy City Ride, I mentioned the New Japan Strong brand. They had that show over the weekend. Just real quick, looking at the results. Wheeler Yuta and Rocky Romero won a dark match, tag match, against DKC and Kevin Knight. The official opening match of the card was, oh God Almighty. Essentially, you had the Factory
Mhm.
beat Carl Fredericks, Yuya Uemura, and Clark Connors, as QT Marshall got the pinfall, with his teammates being Nick Camarado and Aaron Solo. How they got that booking is beyond me.
Who the
Um,
fuck knows?
then we
I
had a
mean,
10
nothing against QT. Like QT is a good hand. Camarado and Solo, but QT's always been a good hand.
right. Then there was a 10-man tag in which we saw Fred Rosser, the artist formerly known as Darren
Darren
Young.
Young. Yep.
He got the pinfall in that match over Black Tiger. So the winning team was Rosser, Josh Alexander, Alex Coughlin, Ren Narita, and Chris Dickinson.
Mhm.
Then we had an openweight championship defense, strong openweight championship defense, excuse me. Tom Lawler successfully defended the belt against Yuji Nagata in just under 14 minutes. That was his ninth successful title defense now.
Mhm.
Then a 12-man tag, because a 10-man tag wasn't enough, which Kyle Fletcher got the pinfall for the winning team of him, Hanare, Jeff Cobb, Great O'Con, TJP, and Mark Davis. He pinned Chris Bay for the victory, which was it was essentially Bullet Club
Bullet Club
versus
versus
Empire,
yeah.
United Empire, whatever it
Mhm.
is.
Yep.
Then a 6-man, no time limit Chicago street fight. Sure. David Finlay got the pin for his team of him, Brody King, and Juice Robinson. He pinned Jonah.
Good.
Smile. Good. There you go. I was hoping you'd smile at that. Jonah's teammates on the losing side was Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste. Don't know them, but okay. Then Jay White's US of J Open Challenge was answered by Shota Umino. Just a guy from the dojo, it looks like. Jay White ended up winning that in about 15 and a half. And then 30-minute time limit. I believe this went to Ishii. It's not marked properly on the website. The last time I knew, I don't believe Suzuki does a vertical drop brainbuster for a finish, so we're gonna say Ishii won.
Yeah.
He beat Minoru Suzuki. And then the closing match of the night, Jon Moxley defeated Will Ospreay in 21-24 to close out the night. There was something else that happened. Bear with me. There was other stuff that happened at the show to be notable. Let's see here. Okay. Moxley called out Hiroshi Tanahashi for May 14th.
Right. That's right.
Which is their next show for New Japan Strong. That's going to be in Washington, D.C., called Capital Collision.
Right.
And then there was another thing that happened too. Okay. Oh, right. Eddie Kingston confronted Tomohiro Ishii after his match with Suzuki.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like Eddie is throwing his hat in the ring to try and go one-on-one with Ishii, also at the same show. And then who confronted Minoru Suzuki backstage for a match on May 14th?
Who now? Wheeler Yuta. Oh, okay.
So it looks like right now, as long as everything pans out the way we hope it does, you look at Ishii versus Eddie Kingston, Minoru Suzuki against Brody King, and then Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi in DC.
I don't think that's going to happen in DC. I think Tanahashi is going to give an answer in DC via video, and it's going to happen in Japan.
That would actually make more sense.
Like, Tanahashi is one of those guys I don't see coming to the U.S.
Unless, here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although they haven't really announced anything about this, but there was talks percolating, and I don't remember where I saw this.
The New Japan show in Chicago in June?
Right.
So that's on a Thursday. I was going to get to that when we talked about AEW because all these fucking idiots think that it's going to be a co-branded AEW New Japan show. It's not. It's a New Japan Strong show that there's going to be a handful of AEW guys on, just like Windy City Riot was.
Okay. I'm actually going to try to find, bear with me, I'm going to check the New Japan site to see, because I also have a taping for Collision the night after the DC show at the 2300 Arena. To 4 p.m. door, 5 p.m. bell time that day, Sunday, May 15th. And then, by the way, Best of Super Juniors also starts May 15th and runs through the remainder of May into the first week of June. Yeah, tell me about it, man. I feel the same exact way. Let's see. New Japan Strong. Well, New Japan, the website doesn't have anything after Dominion on the 12th of June. So, but I mean, we're talking 2 months. It's possible the show gets formally announced at some point. Because again, you mentioned how there's the news about it being possibly a co-branded show, but I don't think New Japan has even really formally announced this show happening yet, have they?
Not really. No. I think the date has been booked, and that's how word leaked that New Japan booked the venue on that date, but that was it.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, that covers New Japan pretty much. I don't have anything else of note unless you have something that I missed at all.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Moving on to Impact. Before we get to their show this past week, one thing of note about Impact is that news has come out that the contracts of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are set to expire sometime in the summer.
Oh, no, they expire April 30th, dude.
Oh, April 30th. Okay.
Yep.
Because the original story I saw was this summer.
Nope, April 30th.
Okay, so...
Which, thank God, that means they ain't winning on Saturday.
And that also means that Rebellion is quite possibly the last show for them. And they might not be on the TV tapings the next day.
they'll be on the TV tapings the next day, but that's it.
Okay. Well, either way around it, it'll be interesting to see if they do end up re-signing. The only thing is, to go along with that, they haven't been on AEW TV in
Since the Impact merger fell through.
basically.
Basically, since Christian dropped the Impact belt.
Do they have? I'd assume they still have active contracts, though, right?
What?
Or are they only contracted to Impact right now?
They were only contracted to Impact. Basically, so going back to, remember how I said Impact was going to get fucked in that whole deal? I mean, it was kind of proven.
Right.
Basically, that whole deal was just so Kenny Omega could hold an extra belt, and so Gallows and Anderson could be on 2 shows at the same time. Okay. So they were basically appearing. They were basically Impact paid AEW for the crossover, and Gallows and Anderson were able to double dip, and on Impact's dime. Gotcha. So fuck them.
Okay. So Impact, take a look at their TV real quick.
I watched most of it.
Madison Rayne beat Jesse McKay in the before the Impact show.
Apparently, Caleb is going to be joining fucking the other people, not Tenille, but the beautiful people.
So the tag champs don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah.
Jess and Cassie want nothing to do with him.
Yeah. Madison Rayne and whoever. Yeah. That's the way they made it seem on the backstage stuff, was basically Madison Rayne was sticking up for him.
Then W. Morrissey, Big Kaz, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he comes out to start the show. Basically referring to his personal life, because that's where basically shit hit the fan for him and his health and stuff like that. Before he got himself put back together. So he basically did a promo about that and thanked the fans about it.
Yeah, that was all a shoot. I didn't know he had a major drinking problem and shit. So
that was part of the whole reason that he stepped away for a little while. Between that and his mental health, those are the 2 big things at the time. Then of course Brian Myers has to be a prick and interrupt him. Morrissey jumps him, then Green and Cardona come down and they put Morrissey through a table. Because reasons.
Because Morrissey's been putting them through tables week after week after week.
Right. But
so I'm assuming last minute there's going to be a tables match added to Rebellion.
Watch, it's going to be a tables handicap match. It's going to be Myers and Cardona against Morrissey.
No, it'll be Myers and Zicky.
Ew.
Either that or it'll be Cass versus Cardona for the fucking for the internet title there. The
digital media title?
The digital media title, yeah.
Maybe. You might
because they did tape they taped a bunch of shit during Multiverse of Matches, and that's what they're going through right now. So the last taping is coming out this Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we had Deonna Purrazzo. I mean, Willow Nightingale can't get a fucking break, man.
I know. I love the girl. I love her fucking work. And the thing is, she's getting booked everywhere, but everyone's booking her to fucking lose.
So Deonna successfully defends the Ring of Honor Women's title against Willow. All right. Let me stop for a second and ask this question. Obviously, she's been a good sport for all intents and purposes, from the looks of it. Does losing on TV as a free agent, like she has been, does that hurt your reputation more, less, or about the same as it did, say, 10 years ago?
I'd say more, because 10 years ago, 10 years ago, TV 10 years ago it was roughly the same. So you really only had WWE on TV 10 years ago, and Impact, but I mean, like, if you want to compare it to like territory days, where it's like if you were enhancement talent or your squash match people
Sure,
during
we'll
the
go with that.
territories, it didn't hurt as much back then because territories were only seen by smaller regions of the country. Whereas here, even though it doesn't draw as much of an audience, Impact, AEW, and WWE are all on national television.
Mhm.
So having her lose on Impact and AEW and MLW, which when she was there losing was when they had the special on Vice. So it is when they were on Vice. Sorry, that doesn't help her. So yeah,
Plus, say the matches she's been doing for NWA or in the AEW YouTube shows that she's done as well.
right, exactly. And the thing is, like, and also like here it is, and like I said, she's a massive fucking talent. I fucking love her. Like I've always wanted to book her, but obviously now her price is gonna have gone up. Having her in that interim ROH women's title match on the
Right.
pay-per-view
Mhm.
when all she's done is be enhancement talent for everyone didn't do her any favors at
No.
all.
No.
Whereas they could have found a way because of when this match with Deanna was taped, it was taped during the Multiverse of Matches weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had her beat Deanna, go to the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and then lose to Mercedes and unify the belt that way and just skip every freaking interim of trying to get Deanna Purrazzo on AEW TV. And while it wouldn't have helped her in the short term, it would have helped her in the long run because she would have won the Ring of Honor Women's Championship on television and then dropped it on a pay-per-view.
True. Fair idea. Let's see what else we have here.
Oh yeah, sorry. My apologies. So it didn't happen during Multiverse weekend. It was taped. That match that aired here happened at the 2300, so it happened before the Multiverse of Matches weekend. So then it would have been yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Would have been even more logistically sensible.
Exactly.
Then we see Mickey doing a backstage interview, and then she gets jumped by
Chelsea Green's forehead.
Are they really calling themselves the major players? Is that what this is?
Yeah. Because, people remember that.
Bunch of ball-looking scumbags.
Because, as far as, what was that? What was that? Fucking, let me think here. That was what? 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like anybody remembers Hawkins and Cardona were the major brothers at this point.
Whatever. Then they had another backstage interview. This one's with the Knockouts champ Tasha Steelz. Talking about Rosemary and the match at Rebellion, whatever. Jonathan Gresham beats Rocky Romero.
Mm-hmm.
Then Gresham and Romero shake hands after the match. And then they have a promo package for Rebellion around Alexander getting his title match against Moose.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I'm wondering if AEW is going to let Gresham finish out his dates with Impact at this point.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. Then we have Ace Austin and Mike Bailey having a confrontation leading up to their Triple Threat X Division title match of Rebellion against the champ Trey Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Then Macklin versus Alex Shelley with Chris Sabin in Shelley's corner. Shelley gets the win over Macklin.
Yep.
Then Giselle Shaw confronts Madison Rayne, has doubts about whether or not the Influence will continue to be successful without Caleb with a K, whatever.
Yeah.
Then Honor No More makes their way to the ring.
Yep.
Talk, la la la. And then Bullet Club shows up, brawl breaks out.
Yeah, nobody asked for Honor No More versus Bullet Club. Nobody. Like, they're both heel stables. Why the fuck are you doing this?
So, what? Oh, because they had a match that night. Okay.
Yes.
So then PCO
poor
took out
PCO.
everyone at one point, and then Jonah comes to ringside and takes on PCO, and
buried
Jonah
him.
gets the win.
Fucking buried him, like beat him, and then after the match was done, like
Attacks
did
him with a
like
steel chair and hits him with another splash.
yeah, gives him the tsunami with the chair, like just completely buries PCO, and then they're like, now who's gonna stop Jonah? And Jonah takes on Tomohiro Ishii at Rebellion. I'm like, yeah, there's no fucking build to that.
Yay. Yawn. That's all I can say. Yawn. All right.
But yeah, but at least we'll see what happens. They really didn't. They're probably going to focus more on that tag team gauntlet on this week's episode to announce the rest of the teams or just surprises or whatever. I mean, I'm assuming at this point that the machine guns are going to be in it. I'm still crossing my fingers that the God will show up to get their revenge on Bullet Club. But I mean, we'll see, because they really got to wrap everything up before the pay-per-view, which I'll be at.
Yeah, because they really haven't. Yeah, because like they have a banner on their website showing that Violent by Design is defending the tag titles,
right,
in an 8-team elimination challenge, but there's no listing at all of any teams yet. So yeah, that's got to be taken care of this week.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, quick, of the rest of the card. Like I mentioned, Ace Austin, Mike Bailey, Trey Miguel, triple threat for the X Division title.
Yep.
You just mentioned Jonah versus Ishii. Steels versus Rosemary for the Knockouts title. Gresham against Eddie Edwards, which looks like, because it's not labeled as such, it looks like a non-title match.
Yeah, it is.
So thank God for that. Triple threat match: Jay White, Steve Macklin, Chris Sabin. Where was I for that? Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's new to me.
Gianna Peraza will defend the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship against Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, baby.
Which is, by the way, that's the weekend before Triple Mania 30, which I'll touch on in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Moose and Josh Alexander for the Impact World title. Speaking of Triple Mania, the reason I want to go over that quick for a hot second is because there's a change to the card. Did you see who's on the card now for Monterey next weekend?
No.
Alberto El Patron.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Now, I don't remember exactly who he's replacing. I'm going to see if there's any mention of it. I don't see anything. So, you remember how there was a 3-way tag match involving Johnny...
Johnny Impact?
He calls himself Johnny Superstar now. But you remember how there's a 3-way tag match involving him? So, I know Alberto was not originally in this match. Laredo Kid had a different partner, who I don't remember. But now apparently he's going to be Laredo Kid's partner. So it's him and Laredo Kid against Johnny Superstar and Taurus, against two members of La Facción and Gobernable, which will be Dragon Lee and Jarlistico.
Jesus. Mexico apparently doesn't give a fuck about people getting, like, people who are shitbags anymore.
Well, yeah, we knew that.
Like, between that and the whole thing with fucking Travis Banks and fucking Marty Scurll. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they still have the Bucks in the main event with no AAA tag champions in sight.
There's got to be something's going to happen between now and then, like on either Dynamite this week or Dynamite next week, where FDR drops those fucking belts.
Unless they're just saying fuck it and they're going to hold off and have the... Because remember, there's 3 different events for the Triple Mania. So they could just say fuck it and wait till
there are?
Event. Yeah. There's one in Monterey. The one in Monterey is the 30th. Then they're doing another one in Tijuana on June 18th. And then they're doing one in Mexico City October 15th. So maybe they're just saying fuck it and they'll hold off on the tag titles until the June and October shows.
But would they wait that fucking long in between defenses?
Yo no sé. Yo no sé. Oh, did you know the Hardy Boys are already booked for June 18th? I think we did go over that at one point. The Hardy Boys being booked for the Tijuana show. So, Jeff, get as much weed as you want while you're down there.
Jeff's gonna get Percodan while he's down there. What the fuck you talking about? That shit's street legal. You just walk into the pharmacy and get it.
Hi, my name's Jeff. Hook me up, bitch.
My name is Jeff.
What is he the leader of the House of Black? Is that what this is?
No, that was 21 Jump Street.
Oh. All right. So now let's go into the big headache that is.
Oh, I need my notes.
Oh, let's go to the big headache that's AEW and Ring of Honor. So while you're getting your notes, let me just remind you quick that
we hate.
I just want to remind you all that you know what we're nobody seems to know if they're driving the car or not for Ring of Honor or AEW creatively, but I know that you can drive yourself off the lot of Mohawk Honda with a brand new or certified pre-owned used vehicle that will fit your needs and your budget perfectly, because this spring is the perfect time to get top dollar for your trade-in with the Kelly Blue Book instant cash offer at Mohawk Honda. Same day you check in, they'll get the same day you come and bring your vehicle, they'll put a check in your hand, no questions asked. Also, don't forget the new vehicle inventory that continues to roll in at Mohawk Honda, and even their newly acquired certified pre-owned used vehicles. You can check them all by following Mohawk Honda on their Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms, as well as their website, MohawkHonda.com, as all Mohawk Honda sales and leasing consultants will work with you to find the best vehicle for your budget and your lifestyle. And also don't forget that this coming Sunday, April 24th, head on over to Mohawk Honda's Facebook page to find out about their yearly pet adoption clinic taking place that day. Visit Mohawk Honda in Scotia, Glenville, where they always go out of their way to please you. I saw you laughing as I made the nobody driving the. It's a van going down a wandering road for the creative of AEW and Ring of Honor. So
Toonces is behind the wheel,
especially considering that apparently in an interview with Freddie Prinze Jr., because he's the go-to authority of wrestling podcasts. Apparently, Tony Khan says that he takes care of the creative for all the top talent.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah. Remember that you brought that up because I want to go back to that when we get to the end of Dynamite.
Yeah. That all being said, we get to Dynamite. CM Punk beats Penta.
Number one, saw that botch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best in the world with that fucking amazing botch. But everyone's like, oh, but he used it to his advantage and he sold his knee afterwards. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. That was a terrible fucking botch. Yeah. And going into that, the first minute of the match, they talked about how Penta is ranked in the top 5 contenders. And I said, how the fuck is Penta ranked in the top 5 when he hasn't had a televised singles match in God knows how long, and he's been jobbing out to the House of Black and tag matches for the past 4 months? The House of Black. The camera work was super shoddy all night. Like, if you notice, so you could tell, they had the standard hard cam, they had a ringside cam, and then they had 2 jib cams, like on cranes, and those were too far away from the ring, so they were zoomed, and you could tell when those were taking shots because they were all grainy.
Listen, it felt like somebody with too much ADD was going on in the director's truck. It's like this or that, no this, no that, no this, no that. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So after the Punk match, we get a Jericho Appreciation Society pre-tape at the airport. Eddie Kingston and friends steal the car.
Jericho ripping off old Horseman promos. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Then we get to the tag title match because, let's put that second on the card.
2 matches in, 5 outside dives.
Did you happen to notice that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly both used the same exact move to attack the same limb on both opponents, and they still lost the match?
Yep.
They both used dragon screw leg whips to attack the left knees of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. And yeah, like I don't know. I got nothing. Not that it meant anything to lose the match, really. It's just more the fact that both guys use the same exact move on the same exact limb on both opponents. I guess that's more the thing.
Yeah. I remember losing my shit during it and messaging you. I'm like, how the fuck was that a legal tag? The one where Bobby Fish was halfway across the ring.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
But congratulations to Jungle Boy, because all right, now, granted. Oh wait, there was no tag match on Battle of the Belts, so it wouldn't matter. I believe, if I remember correctly, from the 2 hours of Dynamite and the 1 hour of Rampage, which I believe Rampage only had one tag match anyways, the 6-man at the beginning of the show. Jungle Boy was the only AEW talent that used the fucking tag rope. And then on top of that, the tag rope was non-existent in Red Dragon's corner during that match.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. Was tucked under the turnbuckle.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What are we doing?
Reasons, dude. Reasons.
Oh God! Like, people, come on! Like, wake up! My God.
And then of course we have the afterbirth because it's fucking AEW.
Right. After the match, Red Dragon's going up the ramp. FTR comes out and they confront Red Dragon because reasons.
Yeah. So they confront Red Dragon and everyone's like, "Oh, look, they're looking at Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy." I'm like, "No, they got went face to face with Red Dragon," which means here's AEW's logic: Red Dragon, who just lost their fucking match for the AEW tag titles, is now going to get a shot at the ROH tag titles.
Because they're former 2-time ROH champs?
Yeah, 7 fucking years ago.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. So after that match, we get a backstage pre-tape with Blackpool Combat Club about their trios match coming up on Rampage that Friday against Gun Club. Then we get another backstage pre-tape. What's that? Oh God.
No. Talk about what that interview was.
Okay, so the pre-tape is Hayter and Storm, but Storm doesn't say anything because Hayter speaks the entire time about wanting to beat that ass in the first round of the Owen Hart Women's Tournament when it comes around.
And right there, they said while that was happening that they were facing each other in the opening bracket of the Owen Hart Tournament, but they don't know what the brackets are yet. This is just one of the matches.
Right.
Imagine if they did that. Dude, imagine if they did that for March Madness. Imagine people losing their fucking minds. Gonzaga's going to play UConn. We ain't telling you when, and we ain't telling you what part of the bracket it is.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Then we get I don't know what to make of what this was next. So MJF is facing Shawn Dean.
GI Bro.
Sure.
He's gone full GI Bro.
I'm about to disagree with you. So then they show a shot of a few security guys laid out in the back. One of them no longer with their shirt, which means, oh God, Wardlow has a security shirt on. Holy shit. So Wardlow is able to freely make his way to ringside and raise hell and cause chaos and all the such. And it leads to MJF escaping up to the top of the ramp, and MJF takes a count-out loss to Shawn Dean.
So now MJF has 2 losses to Shawn Dean in the past 3 months.
Correct. And we'll circle back to the MJF Wardlow thing in a moment. Then we get a Darby pre-tape with
because reasons.
Because we need a coffin match again.
Yep.
Because we really need that.
Because we need a gimmick match on every fucking episode of Dynamite, don't you know?
So this is something I kind of touched on it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week when they officially booked it as a Texas death match for Cole Page. And I'll say it again. You need to stop overkilling your specialty matches, Tony. Because this is going to be the second coffin match, if I remember correctly, in 6 months. I want to say the one with Ethan Page was somewhere late fall, early winter, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons?
Yep.
You
Yeah, no, yeah.
Undertaker,
The coffin match with Ethan Page was around Halloween. I remember that.
You didn't see Taker rolling out a casket every 6 months and saying, "Here we go again."
Right?
Like no. They had casket matches. Like off the top of my head, let me think about this. There was like they would use caskets for symbolism, but didn't
Right.
always mean a casket match. Like
Right.
perfect example, two perfect examples actually.
Mm-hmm.
The lead up to the WrestleMania matches of Undertaker at WrestleMania 12 and WrestleMania, I believe was 21. 12 was Nash
Mm-hmm.
when he was Diesel.
Yeah.
And they had Diesel in a casket, spooked the fuck out of Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lead up actually used it both ways in that regard, because I believe Orton had a casket with a Taker in it, and then Taker had a casket with Randy in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other time I'm trying to remember, like I want to say there was one at one point with didn't he have one with AJ in it before their
Maybe.
I think he did.
And I know he teased the coffin with Kane all the time, but him and Kane never actually had a casket match.
Right. Or the casket would just come out at random and boom, there's Kane or Taker popping out of it during a match.
Right,
like,
exactly.
There's other ways to use a fucking coffin other than a fucking match.
Right.
And by the way, coffins became antiquated after the first coffin match with Kamala and Undertaker. Use a fucking casket. The coffin's stupid.
Right. Because they learned that with Taker and Kamala. And they're like, you know something? We need something for a bigger TV aesthetic, which is why they created the double wide, double deep casket.
Right, because nobody wants to watch Taker taking nails and going, which was what, 90? Wait. No, don't tell me. Hold on. That was because their SummerSlam match was 92 at Wembley. Was it Survivor Series 92?
Oh, no, that's right. It was Survivor Series 92. That's right.
Yeah, it was Survivor Series 92. Yeah, because it was the same show as Savage and Perfect against Razor and Ric Flair.
Yep.
So
yeah, because that was the gimmick match Survivor Series.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Was that also the same Survivor Series as Brett and Shawn?
Yep.
Yeah. The real innovators of the ladder match in WWE. Anyways,
Boss Man versus Nails in a nightstick on a pole match.
Nightstick on a pole match. Oh God, that's right. Oh, one of the worst promos ever is Nails. Oh God.
Boss Man.
Can we? Oh my God, Omos is the new Nails. No. Oh my God.
Listen, Kevin Kelly had way more talent than Omos.
Oh my God. That's creepy. All right. We need to move on. And then we get a tape promo after the Darby promo. And who did the tape promo?
Dr. Black.
Well, really, it was just
Malachi.
Yeah,
and I wrote down the note. I said, remember when Malachi Black was supposed to be the company's new top heel, and now he's feuding with the third-rate mask guy from YouTube.
I want Fuego del Sol to feel the House of Black.
Remember what I said? Remember, I fucking said it here, and I said it to you. I said, once this feud with Cody is done, he's going to get relegated to working guys on YouTube. Pretty fucking close. He's not on YouTube, but he's working guys from YouTube.
Close enough. I'll say it for you because I know you're thinking it, so I'll just say it. Stop using Judas.
Exactly.
Jericho, Garcia, and Hager beat Eddie, Santana, and Ortiz, and then the wannabe Young Bucks come out and help attack after the match, and fucking whatever. Fuck Matt Martel.
So they called that a trios match, and that wasn't a trios match. That was a 6-man tag.
Because there was tags.
Yes. And fucking JR sitting there calling it a 6-man match, 6-man tag, and Sockface is calling it a fucking trios match. And even you can tell even JR was pissed off going into it. He's just like, we got a 6-man tag or a trios match, apparently.
Sock face, I love it. Oh yeah. Then we get an MJF promo backstage. Who has Smart Mark with him. He has Smart Mark read from the contract of Wardlow that MJF can book Wardlow any match he wants. So MJF picks
the
Butcher.
Yay. Who, like, the Butcher and the Blade as a tag team haven't beaten anyone in God knows how long, right?
But the Butcher beat a jobber Friday night on Rampage.
Oh, yay. Guess what? There's a reason the Butcher is not a fucking singles guy. Because he fucking sucks.
You're just glossing over the obvious comment here.
Which one?
So we're rehashing and recycling the labors of Jericho again?
Oh, yeah. It's the labors of Wardlow. Yep.
It was the labors of Jericho, then it was the labors of Punk, and now it's the labors of Wardlow.
Because Tony Khan doesn't know how to fucking book anything.
What is this? You didn't see the Jews send the plagues 3 different times to 3 different groups of people. They did it once to the Egyptians.
Yep.
Sorry, I went biblical there for a second. Anyways, then we had probably the worst, most lackluster debut out of any of the debuts that we've had in AEW. Marina Shafir with probably also one of the worst themes I've heard in a while.
They're basically trying to make her Masha Slamovich.
She doesn't look brooding, so why give her brooding music like that?
And make her have a fake European accent.
She beat Sky Blue. She beat Sky Blue in the worst squash match in the history of squash matches.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Giant Gonzalez might have had a worse squash match.
And then Shafir's picking a fight with the baddie section because she's supposedly getting the next shot at Jade Cargill for the TBS title. And in the baddie section is Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan.
Yeah, because reasons. Because they couldn't find any indie chicks from that town in time. So they just threw them out there.
But I want to make sure this makes sense. So Red Velvet has one match where she acts like a heel because she happens to be in the regional area of the opponent she beat in the Owen Hart qualifier, which was, I believe that was Willow Nightingale, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And now because of that one match where she acted heel because she didn't have a choice based on where she was wrestling and who she was wrestling, now we're just saying, fuck it, you're heel full-time now?
Basically, until they need to switch her again. It's like Jay Lethal.
We're going to make her the Paul White of face and heel turns now? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Anyways, then we have a pre-tape attempt at an interview with Hook. He's interrupted by Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Oh, well, I wouldn't say Hook was interrupted. The person trying to interrupt Hook was interrupted. And then Danhausen fails to curse Hook again in his goofy-ass looking workout outfit, whatever the fuck that was. Sure.
Then we get burying Danhausen with these segments.
Yeah, I know. Then they have a backstage pre-tape of Lambert, Scorpio, and Paige talking about the TNT title match on Friday night, which we'll get to. Or wait, no, Saturday. Wait, no. Yeah, Saturday.
Yep.
Then we get Starks and Hobbs beating Keith Lee and Swerve thanks to interference from Taz.
Say goodbye to Keith Lee's push or any semblance of, like, you just got Keith Lee pinned on TV. Like, You know what that does for him?
Fucking nothing.
I love it. At the beginning of the match, I was looking, I was like, I feel like I'm playing Punch Out. Keith Lee looks like Mr. Sandman and Starks looks like Piston Honda.
Mm-hmm. Then we get a backstage pre-tape with Shivani and Thunder Rosa, get interrupted by Nyla and Vicky. They brought a cake for whatever fucking reason.
Because I love cake and violence.
Sure.
That was a funny line. I will give that to Nyla Rose. That was a funny line.
Yes. Yes. Then we get a pre-tape package for the Cole Page match coming up on Rampage on Friday. And then we get to I'm Samoa Joe. I want to pretend I'm Kenta Kobashi because fuck everyone else.
The IWC, I'm surprised the IWC isn't mad that JR talked on commentary over Kaze and Inare.
So Samoa Joe, I
Is
like to
fat.
know. I like to know. Did you say he's fat? Is that what you
Yeah.
just said?
Yes.
I mean, we talked about that before already. I want to know how Minoru Suzuki signed off on this.
Money. Some double money.
Like they just stood there and chopped each other, pretending they were Sasaki and fucking Kenta Kobashi,
Mm-hmm.
which Joe is not. I won't slander the name of Minoru Suzuki, but Joe is not either of those guys.
Well, no, that Joe and Kobashi did the same thing in ROH back in 05.
Right, because he was a troll for. Never mind. Yeah, he was a troll. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we have Minoru Suzuki drop the Royal Ring of Honor TV title to Joe.
That's right. Hold on. While you're still talking, I need to look something up. Go ahead.
Then we have Jay Lethal and Sanjay, who are sitting ringside. They pop out. They want to present their special present to Joe. It's a middle finger. It's my middle finger in a box. Then the lights go out, and who shows up?
Great Value Kali.
Satnam Singh.
Sanka.
Who?
Sanka.
Who?
Shivi.
Who?
Great Kaki.
Who?
The Punjabi Disappointment.
Who? Giant Gonzalez Jr.? Who? How many people? Do we really think anybody in that crowd that night knew the dude who showed up?
Nobody knew who he was.
That's the point! And we went lights out for a dude nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they not know him, nobody knew he was signed.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know the background of Satnam Singh, he was the first Indian-born basketball player to ever be drafted by the NBA in their draft. He eventually did a few years playing pro ball in the G League along with in Canada, and then had a PC tryout with WWE sometime, I want to say in early 2021, didn't get signed. Mm-hmm. So AEW said, "Oh, let's get him."
Yep.
He gets signed in, I believe, September of 2021.
Yep.
Has been getting trained at, I'm assuming, the Nightmare Factory by Sanjay Dutt.
Yep.
And they decided, oh, Discover and Warner Media are merging. We need to up our market in India. Let's bring in the big guy.
Yep.
And I'm not kidding, because AEW has been airing their program on Eurosport India,
mm-hmm.
which is owned by Discovery.
Yeah.
So let's kiss the ass of Discovery for merging with Warner Media.
Well,
and debut the 7'3" Indian guy nobody's ever seen or heard of before.
Well, they better kiss Discovery's ass all they can, because we'll get to why. But so let me back it up a little bit here.
Which, by the way, was not as bad as I thought it was when I watched it back today.
Was still fucking bad.
We'll
it was still, dude, if that's the first thing that comes into my mind before fucking, yeah, dude, that's bad. Anyways, back it up for a second. I want to get back to this match for a minute. I want to talk about fucking Sockface and his fucking commentary.
Sockface.
Yes. So this motherfucker sat there the entire time acting. He's like, Samoa Joe trying to get the one Ring of Honor title that has eluded him his whole career. Yeah. Hi, Mr. We cater to an internet niche. I have this thing called the internet. I'd like to point out that the Ring of Honor television title was first established in 2010, and Samoa Joe left Ring of Honor in 2008.
Mm-hmm. He was in Impact, TNA back then.
Yeah. So how did this title elude him when he was already fucking gone from Ring of Honor?
That's kind of hard to get something you don't have that doesn't exist.
Not to mention, it's the fucking tertiary title. It goes world, pure, then TV title.
Since they brought back the pure, yes, you're correct.
Yes, TV title was secondary after the pure was retired. But then they brought back the pure, and it was automatically the fucking rankings were already reestablished. World pure TV. So Joe has AEW's version of the 24/7 title, and they're acting like he won the fucking IWGP fucking Triple Crown. And then he gets beat up by Great Keki. By fucking, I like Sanka the most out of those. I don't know why. It's just funny.
I have nothing for you.
Sanka.
Or
he looks like one of the palace guards from Aladdin.
You never had a friend like me.
I was like, I'd pay to have him watch him call fucking Jay Lethal Street Rat. That'd be funny.
You're an awful human being sometimes. You really are.
Yes, I am. But it's hilarious how once we get, because that wasn't the last time we saw him this week.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, I figured we'll wait.
But I will say this is a fallout. Apparently, Tony Khan has since admitted, maybe the lights out thing was not a good idea. So for Satnam Singh.
Thank you for coming back to that. Now, remember what you said before we started talking about Dynamite. Tony Khan has said that he does not need a creative team because he has final say on everything. But when it was brought up on Busted Mark Radio about this fucking segment,
right
before Tony Khan took responsibility, he tried passing the buck and saying, someone else there suggested it, so it's not my fault. If you have final say, then it's your fucking fault.
Yeah.
He's like someone with 30 years of experience. So he's blaming either Arn or Jake. I'm guessing Arn.
Yeah, I don't think Jake would have suggested that. At least not for this guy.
Either that or he's... No, Pat ain't been around for 30 years. So yeah, no. Yeah, so he's got to be blaming Arn.
Oh, you're trying to say Pat Buck came in first week and said, let's get this guy a blackout.
No, Pat Buck probably suggested a couple things and Tony Khan went whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like, it was Tony Khan's fucking fault. It was probably his idea, but he tried to blame someone else for it. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to say, I am God and, I'm king shit of fuck mountain and everything that comes on TV is my idea. And then when something is bad, go, well, that wasn't my idea.
King shit of fuck mountain. King shit of fuck mountain. Yay, yay, yay. By the way, I do have a quick follow-up to something we mentioned about Impact that I glossed over on accident.
Okay.
Caleb Conley says he's not renewing his contract. And that's why he got fired by the Influence.
Oh, okay then.
So Caleb Conley is no longer with Impact.
There
you go. So my bad for missing that earlier.
I missed it too. So
now we move on. So we had a live edition of Rampage in Garland, Texas, because they weren't just in Texas for 2 weeks back in late March. So we had the BCC beat Gun Club in. Was it a 6-man tag or was it a trios match?
I don't fucking know. I didn't watch it. I only watched the last 10 minutes of the show.
Well, Wheeler Yuta got the pin over Billy Gunn.
Yay. Oh, that's a huge rub because he pinned Billy Gunn.
Yeah, just like Billy Gunn winning King of the Ring was a big rub. Then we had like I mentioned, like I teased earlier, Butcher beat some jobber because they got to make him look kind of strong before he faces Wardlow. Then we had Dustin Rhodes in a backstage pre-tape laying on a challenge for CM Punk for Dynamite because everybody's been craving for 50-year-old Dustin Runnels against 40-year-old Phil. Fuck me. Then we had Ruby Soho beat Robin Renegade in an Owen Hart tourney qualifier. where Robin Renegade apparently does this twin magic thing. Apparently, I do you know anything about this?
No clue.
I don't know if it was just an AEW thing because they happen to have a chick that looked like Robin Renegade backstage, or if this is the thing Robin Renegade does on the reg. But she tried pulling off some twin magic at the end of the match, which didn't work, and Ruby still got the pin. It was fucking weird. I got nothing. Then we get to the final match after Mark Henry said, "It's time for the main event," because that's basically what he gets a paycheck for every week. It looks like. AEW World Title, Texas Death Match, Paige against Cole. Paige retains over Cole.
Oh, it was such a fucking terrible match.
Paige gets the win by doing a buckshot. No, is it called buckshot? I can't remember.
Buckshot lariat.
Wait, but what's the? Does he call the?
No, that's called the Deadeye.
Deadeye. Thank you. So he does the Deadeye off the apron through a table, and he answers the count of 10. Cole does not, so Paige retains. However, we need to get to the setup for the Deadeye. So, the end of the match basically went like this. Paige hits a buckshot lariat, decides, ref, don't count. Fuck the count. He goes out and gets a chair that has barbed wire on it.
Because, there's always a barbed wire wrap chair under every wrestling ring.
Exactly. Right. Mick must have been in the audience that night in Garland, Texas. He must have flown down from Long Island to Garland and said, "Here you go, Adam." Anywho, that or Terry Funk limped his way to Garland. I don't fucking know.
Mick was in Texas visiting Terry.
Son of a bitch, you're right. It could happen. Anyways, so Paige he grabs the chair like he's ready to hit Cole, but he's like, as Sockface said, "Oh, here's what stooped to Paige's to Cole's level." So he puts the chair back down.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Cole exchange blows, and then Paige just gets the upper hand again and says, "Fuck this shit," and takes a piece of the barbed wire off the chair and tries to do a running lariat into the corner. Cole stops him. They end up on the apron somehow. Paige gets up here again, hits Cole with the barbed wire in the head a couple times, and then decides this. Now, I thought it was a lot. All right, so I gotta preface the setup with another setup. So I had heard, I think from you actually, after the show, because I had it on my recording on my DVR. I didn't watch this live. But I was essentially told that Adam Cole had a crown of barbed wire put on his head.
Yeah.
Which I thought, wow, bad timing for Good Friday if you're a Catholic. That's awkward.
Yep.
So then I watched the match this morning before we start taping this. Basically, Paige took the barbed wire he had wrapped around his arm, wrapped it into a circle, which one could say was a crown. Was it intentionally made to look like a crown? I don't fucking know.
It was.
But it just seemed like the right shape to fit on top of Adam Cole's head, because what the fuck else are you going to make? A goddamn triangle? A pilgrim's hat? I don't fucking know. So he takes the round of barbed wire, places it on Cole's head, and then sets him up for Buckeye, and boom, because apparently going through a table isn't enough head first. You need to put some barbed wire on his head too, because fuck all.
Mm-hmm.
After seeing the way it was used, I'm not as infuriated or angered about it as I was when I first heard about it on Friday. Because here's the distinct difference, because it's the only obvious correlation you can make, which is the crucifixion of the Sandman back in the old ECW days by Raven. The only correlation I have is that the only difference I'm going to distinguish is this. Every second of what Raven and Sandman did was pre-planned, and Raven was always on the edge of shit anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I don't think Paige and Cole necessarily pre-thought out the religious overtones beforehand. Especially given the fact that Paige just simply wound the barbed wire up like he was basically collecting a fucking extension cord after you use it to roll up the barbed wire. That like he wasn't trying to shape it any special way to make it look like a crown of thorns, quote unquote. He was just winding it up into a roll and putting it on his fucking head. So the look is coincidental, I'll call it, but I don't know if it was actually intentional per se. I know you're giving me this look of now you're just fucking splitting hairs at this point.
Well, because I've got a few schools of thought on it.
Go ahead.
So first, I've witnessed this done one other time other than Raven and Sandman. Right around the time I was getting in the business, well, a little bit before. I would say I wasn't in the business yet. I was a street team. Assault Championship Wrestling, this bit was done. Mike Milano did the crown of barbed wire on Jason Knight.
Okay.
So I've seen it done. He wasn't crucified, but he definitely did get the crown of barbed wire. And it was supposed to have a religious iconography to it. So you go to this. Number one, Adam Cole has made references before to basically being Jesus. So that's why, like, not in this immediate program, but in passing here and there. So that's why you're talking about two guys who know each other well enough where they would think, oh yeah, that's people will get this. But number two, if they didn't realize it, either with the way it looked or the date, that makes it far worse than if they did. Because that is a level of ignorance that cannot be tolerated, because you're talking about a company that is already under the microscope by Discovery now that the company merger has gone through, where Discovery is already not happy with them and wants them to tone down the blood and all this stuff. And they go and do that. And if you go and go, well, we didn't realize it was Good Friday and we didn't realize that it was Easter weekend, that's even fucking worse. Because that means that you're going to use the we didn't know argument every time you do something fucking stupid. And if you're going to continue to do shit that's that fucking stupid, well, then maybe you shouldn't be on TV. Like Jackass. Jackass did stupid shit, but it was edited. So anything that was super stupid never made it to TV.
Right.
But this is a live show. So you really don't have that chance to edit on the fly. So like I said, and the whole thing, Sean Sapp from Fightful really is the whole problem with this. Because he's the first person to point it out, and he's one of the AEW shills that's on their fucking payroll. And then after pointing it out, made the fucking picture of Adam Cole crucified with the barbed wire crown. And spread it all over the fucking internet. So you know something? It's going to get back to the fact that this is a guy who was on the AEW take, who's promoting this. And that's what's going to fuck him.
Sean's a fucking idiot.
Have you seen the picture?
No. I'll go look on his I'll look on his Twitter later. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, at least Eric Bischoff was the first person to go, this is funny to you.
Yeah, I saw Eric's reaction.
Right, because Sapp was like, LMAO, oh my God, this is so fucking funny. Listen, I'm not fucking Christian. But there's some things you don't do when you're on a public fucking forum.
Fair.
Like, in my eyes, this is 10 times worse than the pizza cutter fucking debacle.
That was just funny and yeah, that was just
yeah. This is 10 times worse.
Well, yeah.
And Discovery's not going to be fucking happy with this.
Well, so far it's been roughly 3 days and there's been no fallout, at least that's gone public yet. So we'll see if anything happens over the next few days. Then we go to Battle of the Belts, which was pre-taped for Saturday. So the TNT title is being passed around more than Tammy Sitch in '95.
Watch that.
I.
Now
what are we
here,
doing? What are we
I want you
doing?
to think about something here. So imagine you're in the crowd in Garland, Texas. You watched Rampage, and then they started taping Battle of the Belts right afterwards.
Yep.
So the TNT title was the opening match of the show, right?
After the AEW title, oh god, I didn't even think about that. Wow, they went right from that. Oh god, yeah.
So you had 2 matches in a row where there was a low blow incorporated into the finish of the match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter that this is what people see on TV. You need to think about your live audience and shit like that. And that's doing the same. That's basically doing the same finish 2 matches in a row. Booker of the year, people.
And Sammy and Ty have rubbed people the wrong way so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have a choice but to. But it's just so hard because you want to hate Dan Lambert, but Sammy and Ty are just so too much.
Yep. And that's their own fucking fault.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree.
That's that's their own fucking fault. And the whole thing is, and apparently Tony Khan canned heat over the boos at the end of the match, which you have officially become that which you hate. Because you are changing the crowd noise to fit your own narrative. Because the crowd was not having it.
No.
And
even though I believe Guevara is a Texas boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he from the Houston area or something like that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So either you're going to turn them heel or not, but the thing is, you're turning them heel out of the fact that out of something you did. So once again, Mr. I have creative control over everything and I'm Booker of the Year. You booked yourself into this fucking corner. You're the one that was like, oh, you guys are dating? Okay, fucking go out and sicken everyone with everything you do on your social media and live. You didn't have to fucking do that because as it was, people were already turning on Sammy after he proposed to his fiance at a live taping and then broke up with her 6 months later.
Yeah.
And then hooks up with fucking Ty Conti.
Yep.
So right there, like you should not have had them together on screen at all. That was your call to fucking do that. And you just, so that's your own fucking fault. But then to let them do all that shit, like all that fucking online shit, that's your own fucking fault. And, the fact that they're out in public giving that someone reshared the meme of, this is the pose of the guy whose girlfriend pays for everything. And it's the guy that's like completely leaned up on his girlfriend with his hands in her pockets from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the pictures was Sammy and Tay. Like, so we are like, I've already been saying Sammy Guevara is a fucking scumbag for months. This just reiterates my point.
Well, Sammy's the champ. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yay.
Then Gresham retains the Ring of Honor title over Dalton Castle. I'll say this. I think Dalton put on a nice show. Good for him. So then we have... No, go ahead.
I'm happy Dalton got a payday. What pisses me off is... And I saw... So Gresham went online and posted about it. He said, this is the very first time the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship has been defended on national television, ever. There was zero build to it. There was zero advertisement for it.
Right.
That shows how much Tony Khan actually cares about this company that he bought.
After the match, Lethal, Dutt, and Singh came out to attack Gresham and Castle. Then Samoa Joe came out and chased him off with a lead pipe.
And that's how we saw that Singh is not ready for the ring.
Right. And then the main event, Thunder Rosa retained the TNT, the AEW Women's title over Nyla Rose, because that's what Nyla Rose does.
Yeah,
she's the first challenger to every new champion who loses, because
reasons.
And However, the fallout from that show, apparently Gresham had to go into concussion protocol. Let's say that 5 times fast. After his title match, and because that he had to miss. I believe I remember I want to say it was a Progress show in
Yeah.
Europe. He
Mm-hmm.
was scheduled to go to Europe for a show on Sunday, but couldn't go because of the concussion protocol he was under. So he was unable to get out there. But he should be good to go to get out there when they have their other shows coming up in. I think the next one's going to be in May. So obviously, barring any weird shit, he should be good to go.
But God knows if he's going to be okay for Saturday.
Oh, right, with
Rebellion.
Eddie Edwards, right. Okay, I think that covers everything from AEW. I'll check.
I thought there was something else. I'm trying to remember.
I'll check one other thing real quick just to see. Fucking. It's not directly an AEW thing, but I have to show this to you. I have to, because it's my duty. It is absolutely my duty to tell you this. So, FTR has a booking
with Bret Hart as their manager.
Yeah. Did you see who they're facing in this tag match?
I didn't see who they're facing. I just know where it is.
Oh, you're going to lose your shit because I saw who they're facing.
Oh, wait. Aren't they working the Hardys?
Wrong, sir.
No?
Wrong.
I know it's in Webster, Mass for Big Time.
Correct. Big Time Wrestling has booked the match in Webster against Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson.
That's right.
That's
going to be so terrible.
Anderson as their manager.
That's going to be so terrible. Brock Anderson's in there. It's going to be terrible. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up.
You couldn't even do, you confused two. There's only 2 ways to go about that. You basically decided we don't want Griff Garrison or Lee Moriarty, so let's just take Brock and Pillman and throw them the fuck together and see if it works.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up.
You're hodgepodging 2 tag teams into one for no reason.
Mm-hmm. So, we know that when we talked last week on the show, we talked about Pat Buck quitting WWE.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, he picked up a job with AEW. Which, hey, that's Pat's prerogative. But things make sense now because, so in the past week, they've officially signed Pat Buck. They've officially signed Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
If you notice, so Gresham runs Terminus, and Pat Buck is one of the trainers for Create a Pro. Now, because just prior to finding out about this, about Pat signing, Create a Pro released a flyer for the next show. There's a whole lot of AEW guys on it, including Hook.
Oh, yeah, I did see Hook.
And it seemed odd to me. Now it makes sense. So as it seems, it looks like they are going to try using Create a Pro and Terminus as their quote-unquote developmental while they're trying to get a TV deal for ROH, which is never going to happen. So it's going to be like the tiers of developmental. Basically, it's going to be like
how they treated Ohio Valley Wrestling and
actually no, mid-90s when they were using USWA.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's going to be like.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I mean, we'll see how an actual live crowd responds to Hook and his work, and not an AEW crowd that's so enamored with him.
There is something we forgot.
Oh, I bet you the second you say it, I'm going to be like, yeah, that was the other thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Why would you be all excited about announcing we got clearance for an overrun and you don't even go past your usual 10 o'clock time?
Oh, they went to 10:02.
Not even. It wasn't even 10:02. Wasn't even 10:02 because I set the DVR to start recording the show after that. Rat in the Kitchen featuring Lito Lefebvre. Great chef, great show. Check it out. The intro to the show at 10:02 started at 10:01:30.
Okay.
What? Huh? You announced an overrun and you don't even use it?
It's just the way it fucking. And it was funny how many basement goblins went on my ass when I was just like, NXT never announces when they have an overrun. And they were like, NXT has an overrun every week. I'm like, no, they don't.
Or Raw. The only reason SmackDown doesn't have an overrun is because they have a hard out at 9:57.
Right, exactly. But like, it's hilarious. Of course, then I got called an E-drone and all those things, and I'm just like, NXT doesn't use their overrun every week, dude.
No, they don't.
But and then let's talk about how Dynamite's ratings came in, and how even with the announcement of the overrun, the announcement of the title matches, and all this shit,
Were they
Dynamite
down like 50K?
They were down. No, they went from 989 to 977. I did not get the ratings for Rampage yet.
Let me see if I can find this. AEW Rampage.
Because that's the one I'm really interested in, because they were putting so much stock into being a live Rampage and how they're really going to go back to basics and promoting Rampage, blah, 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 blah. And they basically, so here's something Discovery's going to be pissed out about too. So they taped Battle of the Belts in advance. So you want people to tune into that. AEW gave away the results of Sammy Guevara's TNT title win on their website Friday night.
Did they really originally publicize Brock? I know this is not AEW related. Did they really publicize Brock originally for Backlash and then just pull him because fuck it?
No, he wasn't ever on any of the promotional shit.
I didn't think so either. That's weird. This is all news. This is not going to help me for what I'm looking for. Let me go here. Trying to find anything about ratings. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I don't see anything about ratings yet for this past Friday. My guess is that'll come out later today or tomorrow. Anyways, yeah, that's all I've got for AEW, unless I missed something here, which doesn't look like I did. Okay. All right, that all being said, let's start moving on to WWE. Yeah, so Miz TV starts Raw with Cody. Apparently, Cody gets 2/3 of the pyro budget now on Raw.
And gets to use all the terms Vince doesn't like.
I did love how Miz was correcting his verbiage, though.
Yep.
It's a title. A belt is what holds up your pants.
Well, supposedly Cody's going to be allowed to use those terms because that's part of his character.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But I do love the Vinceism that Miz used there. It's like, they're not wrestlers, they're superstars.
Yep.
So I did get some enjoyment out of that. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Then we get Veer squashing Dom Mysterio and looked like he was breaking him in half, which I expected that ear-to-ear grin. You shit-eating grin, you.
Keep him on TV for 6 months at least, please.
Then we get a Styles pre-tape where he attacks Damian Priest. But I need to ask a favor from the production team in WWE. You don't have to shake the fucking cameras during a brawl. Looked like it took somebody with a bad carpal tunnel and said, "Hey, you hold the camera this time."
They're going found footage, baby.
What is this, the Blair Witch Project? Jesus. So then we get Styles and Priest in an actual match after that, which had no ending.
Nope.
Because
Priest is salsa taker.
So Styles gets knocked out of the ring. The arena goes black. We get a purple spotlight over Priest on his knees in the middle of the ring with arms extended and just smiling.
Salsa taker.
And then we fade to black into a commercial break.
Well, you forgot the peer into the camera with the smile.
Well, yeah, I mentioned the smile on his face.
Okay, yeah.
And then we fade to black into commercial, and then we come back to...
We don't know what happened.
the intros for Cody and Miz.
Uh-huh.
Like, huh? Huh?
Yeah.
So, what, what, what is that? No contest, I guess?
It's also Taker.
I, I, I'm lost.
You're not the only one.
Like, how does this fit? How does this fit the characters? Like, what
Reasons.
is this? Is Edge like the new leader of the Ministry of Darkness? Like, what is this?
It's the House of Edge.
The House of Edge. The, the, it's
It's the House of Purple.
it's the Ministry of Rated R Edge. I don't know.
It's the Temple of Purple.
Oh God, the Temple of Purple.
The Temple of Purple.
The Temple of Purple. Oh my God.
Edge and Puerto Rican Shanky.
Oh my God, you're an awful man.
Yes, I am.
Then we get Cody over Miz, because duh.
Have you noticed what they're doing with Cody?
I
They're really testing to see if he's worth what they paid for him.
because Miz opened the show with him.
They
and
put
then
him at
he
the
started
8:00
second hour.
and they put him at the 9:00. Next thing is going to be to put him at the 10 o'clock to see, and they're going to keep track of these fucking ratings like a hawk.
And then they're gonna put him in the main event and say, "Look, you are not what we thought you were."
Exactly.
And then Rollins was out the ringside the whole time doing commentary. So after the match, Rollins gets in the ring and challenges Cody to a rematch. So now we're getting Rollins Cody 2 at WrestleMania Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings me to this. We'll get back into everything in a second. Now, I know you want Cody to eat shit the rest of the I know you want Cody to eat shit the entire time he's in WWE, but I have to bring this up. Because obviously you're not going to make the man feel like a complete shitbag in the beginning. You're going to try to prop him up, then knock him the fuck down. So here's my question to start off this conversation before I get into what I saw over the weekend. How far is too far for this rocket ship to go before you knock him down? Because you have to admit, they're strapping it to him, and they're going to go as far as they possibly fucking can, it looks like. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to try to find, as Alexa Bliss admits she just wants McDonald's fries right now on Twitter. I'm trying to find... There was somebody who put together... I want to see if I can find it. Some guy on Twitter put together... There's two hypotheticals that have been put together. There's a guy that on Twitter suggested that the way you unify the titles is have Cody beat Roman for the WWE title to bring that back to Raw and then have Roman focus on just the Universal title on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off, no.
Yeah.
If you're going to, like, at this point, if you're going to have anybody do that, you're going to do that with somebody who has never gotten a well, not necessarily. You could do it with Rollins. Aside from Rollins, you're going to want to do it with somebody who hasn't gotten a one-on-one shot with Roman Reigns since he became Universal Champion. And the only person that comes to mind two people that come to mind right now are Randy Orton and AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
There's the only two that make sense at this point if you're going to try to have somebody from Raw go over and take it away from him to bring it back to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, though, there was a different set of tweets, an actual tweet thread, where I'm trying to find this thread. Oh, I found it. I want to shout out to @SahilSingh _CR on Twitter. Sahil, I know you're watching or listening, so thank you. I'm going to directly quote this entire Twitter thread and I can't wait to see your reactions at the end. Let me book Cody Rhodes' road to glory in WWE. Number one, Cody Rhodes is in Money in the Bank match, very close to winning, but Rollins costs him. You have Rollins Rhodes 3 at SummerSlam to end the rivalry. Cody wins as co-main event. He exits the ring. Him and Roman have a stare down. You're never having that because you always give a promo package leading up to the main event match, so you can just
Right.
scrap the stare down idea.
Right.
But that's what he wrote. Number two, Cody now goes straight to Blue Brand to challenge Reigns after SummerSlam, gets attacked by Gunther. Feud starts between them to set up a match at the September pay-per-view in Wales. Apparently, Cody wants to wrestle. He said at some point he wanted to wrestle Walter. I don't know, but
Okay.
sure, we'll roll with that. Cody wins but gets hurt. He goes out for a couple months. So you're creating a dream scenario for this guy, but he's going to get hurt during it. Sure. So, continuing on in the UK pay-per-view number 3, Drew McIntyre defeats Roman somehow to become the new Universal Champion, but Roman is still WWE Champion after the UK pay-per-view. Roman then wins his WWE title defense against Drew at Survivor Series and says no one is left on the roster to challenge the Tribal Chief on SmackDown. So Cody returns to go off the air at Survivor Series, setting up TLC in December between Roman and Cody for the WWE title. Cody comes close to winning, but the Usos interfere, costing the match. Roman retains, giving Cody his first singles loss in WWE. Roman thinks he's done with Rhodes. Cody's not done. Number 5, Adam Pearce makes Reigns Rhodes 2 official for Royal Rumble. Normal match, no champion's advantage. Cody can become the champion anyway, including countout or DQ. So that match is set. Usos have tried to mess up, but referee has them barred from ringside before they can do anything. Fight, whatever. Rock comes out. Offers his hand to Roman, pulls back his hand. This is so fucking stupid. So basically, this guy said Roman and Cody are both outside the ring. The ref is counting. Rock comes out, offers his hand to Roman to help him in the ring to prevent losing by countouts. Says fuck you, turns to Cody, tosses Cody in the ring. Roman doesn't answer the count, and because they took away the champion's advantage stipulations that would usually partake, Cody wins by countout. So if Cody win the belt by countout, so you don't fuck with, I don't fucking know. But anyways, so Roman loses the belt by countout instead of because Rock prevents him from getting in the ring after he puts Cody in. So basically he was trying to set up Roman Rock for WrestleMania to not have a title involved and putting the belt on Cody at Rumble in the dumbest of ways possible.
Ding! I'll take shit that never happened for 500, Alex.
It made more sense when I first read it, and then I just read it to you, and I got lost. First of all, let's just put this out there. Having Roman hypothetically lose the belt in such a manner to Cody, if you think people shit on Roman for winning the Rumble 10 years ago, people would shit all over Cody for winning the belt that way. Because, by the way, if I remember correctly, I think they announced Rumble for next year by now. I believe they did. Let me double check real quick. Because I know they have the rest of 2022 set up. Obviously, we know WrestleMania is in Hollywood
Yep.
For WrestleMania 39 next year.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna see. Oh my god, this list is so long because the 90s were full of shit. 2023. They have not. Oh wait, hold on. They have not officially named a venue for Rumble yet.
Okay.
They have booked sites for everything up to the show in Wales. They have not booked a site for the October pay-per-view, which we are assuming is Extreme Rules. Um,
Well, no,
and then
they're doing Extreme Rules in Saudi.
oh right, they have the Saudi show, so that's probably what it is. It's a Saudi show in October, which will probably be Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
And then TLC is December, but they haven't booked a site for that yet either. So the only thing they've booked past Survivor Series right now is WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood.
LA. Yeah.
Right. But either way, like unless they decide to have Rumble somewhere in Texas again, which would be dumb because they just had it in Texas. What year? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Was it? What was the baseball?
It was the
stadium
Rumble right before COVID blew up everything.
That was at a baseball stadium.
Yeah, it was.
So was that
Houston.
at the Astrodome? Okay.
It was Houston, yeah. Minute Maid Park.
Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah.
So I want to say it was 20. Was it 2020? I don't know.
Yeah,
it was 2020. Yeah. So it was 2 years ago. So you're not going to go back there. I wish you would. I would assume so.
Yeah. No, they'll have it. If they do the Rumble in another baseball stadium, it'll be somewhere in the lower states because weather, obviously.
I'm trying to think because they were. Hold on, I can look this up because I still have it open. Because this year they did it in St. Louis.
Yeah.
2021, the Rumble was in the Tampa St. Petersburg area, Tropicana Field.
Right. I could see him doing it at like not Candlestick Park, but wherever the Giants play now in San Fran.
An outdoor stadium, an outdoor open air stadium. I highly doubt it.
Well, I mean, it's southern. It's SoCal, so that's why.
It's rain.
That's true.
I'm trying to think. Southern indoor covered ballparks. They could try. Even though they were just in St. Pete for the Rumble 2 years ago, they haven't been in Florida for any kind of premium live event. Excuse me, it's not a pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah.
They haven't had any premium live events in Florida this year.
Yeah.
They could use the Miami Marlins indoor stadium.
There you go.
You could do the Superdome in New Orleans.
Could.
Obviously, unless the Saints make the playoffs and have home games, then that could be an issue.
Right.
But I don't.
Which is why they've been doing baseball fields for a bit.
Right. Indoor baseball stadiums. I don't think the one for the Texas Rangers is. I think that's open air as well. They could do the Arizona Diamondback Stadium.
There you go.
You could do Chase Field. Because then weren't they? I think they were at Chase Field for a show not too long ago, actually.
Possibly.
Make sure. I don't know why I remember Chase Field for some reason. Let me see here. Arizona. Just that stadium is popping in my head. Oh, that's where they had the Royal Rumble in 2019.
Okay, so there you go.
That's what it was. Right. Wow. Talk about how much the world changes. By the way,
yeah,
I happened to glance. I'm looking at the list of events from 2019.
Yeah.
So, remember how they taped Worlds Collide the same weekend as that takeover?
Yep.
Remember what the main event was?
Oh, was that the NXT UK versus the Cruiserweight title?
It was the NXT UK versus NXT tournament that they had.
Yeah.
Do you remember who was in that tournament final? There's one person in particular I want you to name, so I'll give away the opponent.
Okay.
The opponent was Tyler Bate.
Oh, who was working Tyler Bate during that? Was it Velveteen Dream? Yeah.
How times change.
Speaking of, have you noticed he's been a little vocal now lately?
Yeah, he thinks there's a way he can come back.
Well, because
I know
nothing's been
nothing
proven on
came
him.
of it. I know.
Nothing's been proven on him. Like I said, remember when all the shit first dropped and I was just like, we need to see. Nothing ever got anywhere with it.
All right, so let's be hypothetical, as now we basically shit canned that and moved back into WWE TV.
Oh, I'll get back to the Cody shit in a bit, but yeah, go ahead.
Hypothetically, do you bring him right into main roster, or do you put him back in NXT just to get his legs fresh?
You get his legs fresh in NXT again. Because that was his problem, was when all this shit was going down, and you can tell that it happened. Trips was like, just lay low. And so by him laying low, he was never showing up to PC to train, and that looked badly on him. So he definitely has a lot of ring rust to take off in case he comes back.
You know what? You know who I think he could work decent with when he comes back? Put him with Pretty Deadly.
Oh, yeah.
We're booking the future. All right, so then we get...
That would be like Dalton with his boys, though. Yeah.
Except these boys can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying the Tates can't wrestle, but like...
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Then, so after the Cody thing and stuff, we get Ciampa. This is actually one of the highlights of the show, I thought. The Ciampa Ezekiel KO promo.
I am Ezekiel.
No, Kevin. This is Ezekiel. Fucking Ciampa. Fucking
you know the Photoshop picture going around of Elias and Ezekiel together?
Yes.
The best one I saw those was that picture, and above it said, "I'm gonna tell my kids this was the Briscoes."
I did see that. Oh, goodness. So then after that, we got Naomi beating Liv Morgan because it was supposed to be a women's tag team title match, but apparently Rhea got put into protocol.
For COVID.
And she ends up on SmackDown 4 days later anyway, so I guess everything's okay. But they had to shit can the tag title match until this coming week on Raw, and they had to do Naomi Liv. Naomi got the pin.
Yeah.
Then we had Bobby Lashley come out and invade the VIP lounge and basically wreck it. And then he talked to MVP. Omos just stood there and looked tall.
Yeah.
Good. That's how it should be. Pearson Sonya backstage with Theory, because it's no longer Austin Theory. Just call him Theory. Because reasons. Then KO invades, and Pearson DeVille agreed to letting KO give Ezekiel a lie detector test. Because
sports entertainment, baby.
Right. Then Bianca basically squashes Zelina in a non-title match. Sonya comes out and names herself number one contender and attacks Bianca. Cool.
That tweet that I shared says it all. Sonya Deville has injured, has hurt more black people than high blood pressure.
Oh, God almighty. I forgot about that. Anyways, Dana Brooke and Tamina then have their bachelorette party.
I got nothing.
They
all
break
of that.
up an attempted pinfall for the 24/7 title. Then fucking, what's their faces? Reggie and Tozawa show up.
Yeah.
R-Truth shows up. R-Truth says, we're going to do a double wedding.
Because I'm a justice of the peace.
So we're going to have a double wedding on Raw this week. God help us all.
You know what this is going to turn into, right? You know what this is going to turn into?
A clusterfuck 24/7 title match?
Exactly. It's going to be, I now pronounce you all man and wife. And the second they kiss the brides, everyone that's sitting there as witnesses is going to get up and they're all going to chase everybody. It's going to be Keystone Cops for fucking 10 minutes.
Correct. Then we get RK Bro beating Alpha Academy. Usos come out and lay down the challenge to unify the tag titles. Before RK Bro can answer, Profits come out and it ends up being Usos beating the Profits in the main event of the night.
Like,
yay.
This is kind of like, I understand them, the route they want to go with unifying the tag titles, and I agree with it. But it's making the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy look like shit in the process.
Which brings me to this question. Is it possible we are seeing the end of the brand split? And if not, is it possible at all in the near future?
No, we're not seeing the end of it. What we're seeing is the way that the brand split was supposed to be back in the day. We're seeing the original concept of the brand split where the U.S. champion is the top champion on Raw, the Intercontinental champion is the top champion on SmackDown, the heavyweight champion and the tag champions travel, which helps in the case of contention for the title. It makes the single title seem more relevant. It gives it a chance for these mid-card titles to main event the secondary main event, the secondary premium live events, and it also helps the tag division, which has become watered down. The problem is the way they're getting there.
I don't know.
Because I don't know if you've seen the picture of the undisputed title online.
No.
It's the same belt, except it's a gold strap.
Great.
And I'm assuming the unified tag belts will be a gold strap.
Lovely. All right. Well, that was an easy answer.
Or a silver strap. Because the plates are silver.
Oh, true. Then we get to NXT. They open the show with Grimes retaining the North American title over Solo Sikoa due to a distraction from Trick Williams. Then Mello and Trick jump Grimes and Sikoa because Mello wants his belt back. Yeah. Then we get Braun Breaker, unfortunately, coming out to do a promo.
And the crowd booing.
And at the end of the promo, they show Gacy with a pre-tape where he drops Rick Steiner's Hall of Fame ring into a fire.
Okay. So we're supposed to believe here that in between last week and this week, while they had Rick Steiner hostage in the War Games cage, that he just magically teleported back home.
Well, Braun said in the start of his promo that he was able to get Rick home safe.
Yeah, don't show how any of that happened. Don't show like,
no.
Oh, I found where he was. Nothing. No, he just magically teleported home.
No, he found him on the side of the road and drove him back.
Yeah, no, yeah. Braun just, he used Vanguard 1 and it went over and he touched it and then he appeared back at his house.
Yeah.
Like, no, that is the shittiest storytelling possible.
Well, yeah.
Like, all you got to do is show a promo package of Braun fucking, like, driving, going, like, I got to find out. Oh, my God, there he is. And, like, pulls him out of a ditch or something. Like, it takes 5 minutes.
I know.
It's just, and am I supposed to believe that the NXT champion gets to park his car where the fuck ever he wants?
Yeah.
Like, everyone else has to park in the parking spaces except Braun. His car is just right there, sideways, right outside the door. So you get to, like, does he just, like, go into, like, malls in Florida and just park across 3 handicap spots because he's the NXT champion? Just hang the belt over the fucking rearview mirror?
You see, his chance of getting a parking spot is 100%, but your chance of getting a parking
Jesus!
spot...
Should have fucking known.
Anyways, then we go into a Toxic Attraction interview because we really want to hear from those three. Then we get Von Wagner jumping jacket time backstage because
reasons.
Sure. And then Wagner comes out and I don't know. He came out with Robert Stone, and then Jiro comes out and says, "I want to kick your ass," and ends up getting killed by Wagner.
So explain this to me. So Von easily beats the fuck out of these two backstage before the segment. Mm-hmm. Goes out to the ring. He easily beat the fuck out of these two, but the moment a injured Jiro comes stumbling out, Von gets scared and powders from the ring. Why?
Bruce Pritchard?
Exactly.
Then we get a pre-tape with Nikita Lyons being interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell. God bless Mackenzie. And then Lash Legend kicks Nikita's teeth out of her mouth. And so basically we're going to get Lash Legend Nikita Lyons too.
Why?
That's what I want on my TV. Then they show a tape package of Pretty Deadly. And then Mandy Rose retains the women's title over Dakota Kai.
Because we need to just, that match was fucking terrible.
And then we have all three members of Toxic Attraction celebrating when they get attacked by Super Soakers by Wendy Chu.
Because reasons.
Right.
Because that's what we've resorted to is fucking squirt guns.
And then we had a Joe Gacy pre-tape again, and this time he pulls the ring out of the fire and puts it on his hand. I was hoping you'd do that. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the cue.
Like, give me a fucking break.
Yep, I know. Then we get backstage with Legato and Tony D'Angelo. Santos denies Tony's peace offering. Sure. And then I made an epiphany, or had an epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
Cora Jade is a WWE female version of Darby Allin without face paint.
And that's when I said, remember when we had this conversation 2 months ago?
Yeah. So Cora Jade comes out for a promo to basically no reaction from the people.
Mm-hmm.
She gets interrupted by Natalya because Natalya is apparently the new main roster person to come down to NXT, for fuck's sake. Cora's acting like a little kid around Natalya because she is a little kid. And then Natty, I think Natty cries at birthday parties, by the way. Like, can we just get her a SAG membership at this point?
God, I wish.
And then she puts the sharpshooter on Cora, and notice how Cora basically doesn't sell the shit out of it.
Cora fucked up getting put up for the sharpshooter. Like, how do you fuck that up?
And then once she let goes, Cora, like, don't sell the leg.
Right, don't sell it at all.
Just crawl to the ropes and look at her like, baby, pobrecita, shut up. Then we get a promo package for Nathan Frazier, who's apparently coming to NXT 2.0 from NXT UK.
To be forgotten in 2 weeks, just like A-Kid.
Correct. And then Zion Quinn beats up Draco Anthony because everybody wanted to see that match.
Because apparently Zion Quinn is going to be a heel now.
Yep.
Even though he's super over.
And then Natalya basically walks through the NXT women's bar.
That's like the juice bar area. They've used it in a couple segments. That's sort of like the common area of the PC.
Let's just call it a bar.
It's the cafeteria.
It's a bar. The bar. Looks like a fucking bar. Basically, it looks like Natalya is going to be in NXT because reasons, and they're putting her against Tatum Paxton.
Because they don't have any fucking worthwhile women left down there.
And they're putting her against the woman that wants to be in Diamond Mine because
reasons.
Natalya needs a 3-minute squash, I guess.
Yes.
Then we get Indy and Persia somehow convincing Duke Hudson and Dexter Lumis to form a tag team.
You fucking called it, dude. You said it. It's your own fault.
I know. No one to blame but myself. I know. I wished it under the universe. Then we get the main event gauntlet match for the vacant NXT tag team titles that Nash Carter's hiled to, which was the Creeds. Sorry. The Creeds start the match. They eliminate Legato. They eliminate Briggs and Jensen. They eliminate Waller and Sanga. And then Pretty Deadly comes out and gets a relatively easy final fall to win the vacant tag titles.
Okay.
So basically, they push the Creeds to the moon in the match, but end up coming up short against the team that graffitied their gym.
So number one, that's basic Bruce Pritchard booking is if you do a gauntlet match, you have someone start the gauntlet match and beat everyone up until the final opponent, and then they're so worn down that there's no shame in losing.
Like
that's
all those years
Bruce
ago
Pritchard
when
method.
they had New Day with Kofi and Woods in that gauntlet match on SmackDown.
Or like they just fucking did with Bianca going into Mania.
Yeah. You're right.
Exactly. So
you're right.
Yep. So two things. First, everyone bitching about Pretty Deadly. Titus.
What's wrong with Pretty Deadly?
See, to the idiot fan. Yeah. Titus. 1 second. Hey, calm down. So to the idiot fan, they say these guys win the titles in their very first match. Not realizing that even in the promo packages that they've given, showing them as NXT UK tag champions in the past, showing that they have a record. Not only that, but Pretty Deadly were actually in NXT pre-COVID. They were there for a couple of weeks before everything hit. So they've been there. But so everyone's like, oh, it's their first match. No, it's not their first match. Shut the fuck up. And then people get all mad when you point out that they held titles elsewhere. My issue with Pretty Deadly is how they've repackaged them. Because they went from like Pretty Deadly, they were Pretty Deadly. That was pretty self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. And now they're Siegfried and Roy. They're figure skaters. They're Bruce Pritchard's inside gay joke. And I don't dig it. Because there's already Bible thumpers online complaining about gay people on WWE TV because of it, even though they're not gay. And that's just ass backwards to like, there's no need for that. They didn't need that gimmick change. Right. You know, they didn't need the name changes either, but we'll talk about name changes in a minute. But I mean, so before I hit that, I want to get to my other point about NXT. This was possibly the worst episode of NXT I've seen almost ever. I sat there the entire time feeling like this was an episode of Impact from 2009. I was waiting for the gut check segment to happen. Like it was that, like the way it was structured, everything about it, the way they're pushing these characters, the stupid shit they're having their characters do, it's Bruce Pritchard all over it. Especially like we're sitting there and then, oh, look, now we're going to have a storyline over someone's Hall of Fame ring. Are you fucking shitting me? Like, and I know that wasn't Chris Park pushing that shit. I know it's the guy that originally booked that shit. Like, it's so fucking bad. It's like this, like, it was funny because I was sitting here with the wife and she was like, I thought you liked Bruce Pritchard. I'm like, I liked listening to his podcast before he went back to working for Vince because I like listening to old road stories. I like listening to old backstage stuff. Bruce Pritchard has never been a good booker. Ever. He's proven that in spades. Like, I liked listening to old stories. That was it. Current shit, I can't even listen to. Not that there ever is any current shit. It's all rehashed fucking like omnibus episodes because he's never fucking available to shoot new shit. Like the show is just, it's on such a fucking downward spiral. And it's basically Bruce taking all his old tropes that never worked in the first place and trying to make NXT into OVW without the consult of Danny Davis or Cornette to figure out how OVW worked, and missing the main part of the reason OVW worked, and that was that it was a regional televised product. It was not a nationally televised product.
Right.
And then just like, you need to realize that you're trying to, like, you bring people over from NXT UK, and you change their names. You're basically saying NXT UK doesn't exist, but you're saying that a product that was on your own fucking network didn't exist. You can't do that. You can't have someone like Walter be a fucking unstoppable monster and then come over to NXT here, change his name, and act like he wasn't an unstoppable monster for 3 fucking years in your other brand. You can't take fucking, like, at least Pretty Deadly. And I think that Pretty Deadly only got the tag titles as a matter of circumstance because of the shit that just happened with MSK. Like, and it's because, like, I guarantee, like, Bruce Pritchard's the one trying to push the Creeds to the moon. And I guarantee that there's someone else like Chris Park or fucking HBK sitting there going, these kids aren't fucking ready. Stop it. I think that's the only reason the tag belts weren't put on them, is because he's being outvoted on that. Like, that seems like the only, because the Creed brothers look out of place on NXT. Imagine putting them in a main roster ring right now.
No.
Like, with how fucking pale and fucking not defined they are. Like, no. Pritchard thinks they're the next Haas and Benjamin, when really, at the best, they're the next Alex the Pug Porto, as a matter of appearance. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh man, you're not. You're not.
So then we got to get to the name changes. Now I forget which one is which, but one of the guys in Pretty Deadly has been renamed to Elton Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a fucking break. Like, it's not that hard to come up with different names. Like, this is just... It screams fucking boomer. That's all I can fucking say. These name changes scream out of touch boomer. Elton Prince. Like, sometimes people's name changes don't take. Sometimes they do. But you need to fucking have like renaming Raul Mendoza fucking Toro del Cruz or Cruz del Toro. Like, really? Like, it's I get the having to change names because of trademarks. I get that. But I firmly believe there should be a fucking grandfather clause. Like, if you have been under contract for X amount of time, you shouldn't have a name change come out of nowhere. Because it makes no fucking sense. These are people that have been on television for God knows how long. Raul Mendoza, Legado del Fantasma, has been on fucking NXT on USA for 2 years now. It's not like you can even say UK. They've been on NXT on USA for 2 years. Actually, Mendoza himself has been on NXT even longer than that. Fucking Kaylee Ray. She's just been Kaylee Ray on your TV show for the past 6 months, and now you're going to change her name? Like, at least Walter over there, and his first match here, you changed him to Gunter. Kaylee Ray has been Kaylee Ray on NXT since showing up back last year. And now you're going to change her name to Alba Fire. Which I'm not even going to go into the ramifications of naming someone Fire, F-Y-R-E. I'm waiting for Ja Rule to come out and say, y'all motherfuckers owe me money. It's murder. Either that or Billy McFarland to call from prison going, I want a reprieve. You okay there?
I'm making sure you're okay and you're good to go. I want to make sure you got everything off your chest about these names.
It's murder. And then what the fuck did the other name that got changed in NXT? Which other chick got her name changed? Fuck, I sent it to you.
Well, they also changed Raquel's last name, which we already covered.
Right, but we saw that coming.
Oh, who was the other chick's name they changed? There was another woman that they changed. I can't remember.
Casey Catanzaro to Katana
right.
Chance. Casey Catanzaro's been on there for how fucking long?
Yep.
And she's the one that did the American Ninja Warrior shit, right?
Yep.
So she's known from another show from America that they fucking mentioned 1,000 times from American Ninja Warrior.
And it wasn't like they just had the co-host of American Ninja Warrior on WrestleMania pre-show or anything like that.
Exactly. Like, that is a pointless name change at this point. So
I have nothing for you.
I don't get, like I said, there should have been a grandfather clause as far as name changes go.
All right, real quick because we're up against it, but and I want to get to one WWE related story before we get out. Let me go through the cliff notes of SmackDown quick. RK Bro and Usos agreed to the title unification match at WrestleMania Backlash.
Yep.
Rhea beats Naomi, so now Rhea and Liv are 1-1 against Naomi and Sasha in singles matches, and now they have their women's title match on Raw. Mm-hmm. Corbin backstage promo, Moss backstage promo, don't care about either one. Moss beats Humberto.
And now next week he faces Angel.
Right. Poor Drew Gulak, he's...
Hey, Drew's getting paid to be a backstage interviewer. That's good for him.
Whatever he wants. He interviews Charlotte in the ring. Charlotte puts him in the figure 8. Whatever. Then Drew beats Sammy by countout again, and then Adam Pearce decides, yeah, you'll have another rematch next week, but now it's going to be a lumberjack match, so you can't run away.
This is the same thing Sammy did with Big E fucking last year.
I know. Ricochet retains the Intercontinental title over Jinder.
Yep.
Sheamus, Ridge, and Butch have a backstage promo. Butch runs away. We come back from break. Butch attacks Kofi and Woods. Sheamus and Ridge join him. Pull apart, whatever. Another Lacey Evans pre-tape. I knew you were going to do that. And then the main event, Matt Riddle wins a singles match over Jimmy Uso.
Mm-hmm. So 2 notes on SmackDown. One, that whole segment with Ridge and Sheamus and Butch would have had a lot more gravitas if they had that interview sometime during the 8 o'clock hour where they lose Butch. And then we find Butch attack.
Next hour.
Exactly. Not having it be back to back between commercial bookends. Like, that wasn't enough time.
I know.
And then we need to talk about the little thing that happened at the main event taping.
The House of Black.
No.
Sorry. I know. Sorry. What happened in the main event taping, sir? LA Knight being tested as a manager.
Yep.
Oh, who did they put? Oh, they put him with Dio Madden because they're getting rid of him as, what was he?
Well, the thing is,
Mace?
Yeah. The thing is, it hasn't been completely said yet as to what his name is going to be, because some people, like I said, it's Dio Madden, but apparently, according to some people, his name has been changed to Main Event Mace, which you've already got Main Event Jey Uso, like, so you kind of don't want Main Event Mace.
I mean, we have Fire Fest Jade of Fire, 8 of Fire,
Alba Fire.
How many random rap references? Are we gonna have Mace Colt bring out big Main Event Mace? Like, what are we doing?
Mace is a preacher now.
Oh, great! That's outstanding. Let's pull away from the pulpit for one night.
Yeah, but no. So LA Knight came out. It's supposedly going to be part of a new stable called Night Model Management. I thought it was funny because I sent the picture to co-owner Shell, and she didn't realize it was LA Knight at first. So here's the thing, because automatically she pops back with "How do you like my suit?" and I lost it. So for those people that don't remember, so unfortunately, one of my trainers was Jason Knight. Not a lot of the training was done, but he was there. Jason back in ECW was the sexiest man on earth, Jason, and his tagline was, "How do you like my suit?" Now, the thing is, you look at these pictures and it's basically LA Knight in a suit, and LA Knight kind of looks like Jason, and he's doing Mike Milano's gimmick because he's got the suit with the sunglasses, and he from the side view, he looked like Mike Milano. So it was just funny. I'm like, oh my God, it's Jason and Mike rolled into one. And then like 20 minutes later, Shell texts me and she's like, wait, that's LA Knight? Like she didn't realize it first. But so everyone's online bitching, of course. Oh my God, they're misusing LA Knight. This is a travesty. Blah, blah. Okay, you know something?
No, not really.
LA Knight just got a pay bump to $250,000 a year to not have to bump.
Yeah. What's the problem?
I'd take that any day of the fucking week and twice on Sunday.
Right?
And who's to say that he's not going to be wrestling eventually? Because like I said, a lot of people are bitching. I was like, this feels like an Enzo and Cass situation.
Right.
Like he's there to help get Mace over, or Dio Madden, or whatever name he is, because he needs a repackaging and he needs a mouthpiece to get over. And once that's happened, then maybe he loses the suit and starts working. Like if not, big fucking deal. He's getting paid. Stop bitching.
So here's how I want to wrap the show.
Okay.
Shall we shit on Sean Ross Sapp again?
Oh, yes, please.
What's April 15th?
Tax day. Oh, it's also been known as Black. Oh, like that's usually been the day where WWE does cuts, and they didn't this year.
Thank you. Do you know who put out that fearful tweet the night before April 15th about that?
Sean Ross Sapp.
Yes, sir.
Like I was waiting to see if releases started dropping today, just in case, just because it's been the way it's been, but I haven't seen anything.
Guess what? Fucking nothing.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. That's a good sign. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
And that leads me more to believe now what you were saying, that a brand split is not happening.
Yeah.
Or the end of the brand split, I should say. Excuse me. Yeah. One final note, which I think is complete bullshit, considering who it's coming from. Brett Lauderdale
Oh boy.
says WWE has expressed interest in the GCW Bloodsport brand.
No, they haven't.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find a direct quote here. No, there's no direct quotes in this article, but Lauderdale's. If you, I don't know if you saw this, but Lauderdale tweeted a picture from WrestleMania where Lauderdale was in a suite at the stadium, and apparently Stephanie came by to say hello. Why? Who the fuck knows?
Because
But apparently Stephanie struck up conversation with Brett Lauderdale, had compliments. She paid compliments about the GCW brand. Apparently, this is all according to Brett. Don't fucking give me that look. Give Brett Lauderdale that look. Don't give me that look. Apparently, though, Stephanie had nothing but good things to say about GCW. They took a picture together. Brett put it on Twitter, and everything's happy in GCW land. I don't fucking know.
here's what really happened. Brett was probably there as a guest to Paul Heyman. Probably in Heyman's suite because he probably kissed a bunch of ass to get into Heyman's suite. And then was there and people were like blah, blah, blah. And just going around, it was like, oh yeah, this is Brett. He owns, Game Changer Wrestling, which has been, promoting the pay-per-views on Fight and stuff. It's like, that's nice. And then Brett goes, can I get a picture with you? Sure, no problem, because Steph does the PR thing. And then that was it. End of story.
She is the chief branding officer after all. So
exactly. Like I guarantee they were like, he promotes Game Changer Wrestling and Bloodsport. They've been doing some pay-per-view numbers on Fight TV. That's nice. Guarantee that's all it was.
Oh God, that sounds like the running joke in my family. So the running joke on my father's wife's side of the family. Mm-hmm. My father is remarried since divorcing my mother.
Yeah,
and the lovely woman he's married to now has a huge extended Italian family. Mm-hmm. So her aunt passed away within the last couple years or so, and one of my absolute favorite stories was one time when she was in the car with her aunt and trying to tell her aunt, who was a little hard of hearing, that somebody had died. So her aunt's in the back seat going, huh? And then the third time she says, so-and-so died. And the reaction that came out of her aunt's mouth,
that's nice.
So that's a running joke now. Whatever's like, I'll just randomly pop in the middle of the conversation. That's nice. That's just a running joke in my family. Anyways, so when you said that about stuff, I'm like, that's Aunt B. Anyways, I think that covers everything. We're really up against this. We don't have time to cover it, but I will tease this next week. Interesting comments made in an interview by Billy Corgan from the NWA.
Oh boy.
We'll touch on them on episode 47. They're intriguing. I may not necessarily disagree with all of it. I think there might be some truth to what he said. How much truth? We'll figure that out next week.
One thing I wanted to bring up before we left that I wanted to bring up, we had a loss over the weekend.
Yes, thank you very much.
Actually there was two losses, but one I wasn't that familiar with. In the New York area, there was a man by the name of Don Adams that passed. He was involved in a lot of wrestling stuff in New York. I know Drake Evans talked about him. HC Loke posted about him. So I knew that he was pretty much intertwined with the stuff like that. I know that based on his social media, it was only like last week. He basically made a post saying, I just found out I have stage 4 kidney failure.
Oh, wow.
And then a couple of days later, his daughter posted that he had just passed. So anyone that knows him, my condolences go out to you. I wasn't familiar with the guy, but obviously a lot of guys I know were.
Right.
So I wanted to acknowledge that. The other guy that just passed was J-Rod Hall, also known as Kid Krazy, from the New England indie wrestling scene. Kid Krazy was a big part of a lot of stuff for years. He got into the business around like 99, and he got in like he was like a teenager. He's basically my age. Um, got in around like 98, 99, worked for Mike Sparta, worked for Sheldon Goldberg, worked for basically everywhere around here, was really close with Doc Heresy and Maverick Wild and Chase Del Monte, Brandon Locke, like all the chaotic guys. Like he was really close with everyone. He just passed on Saturday. I'm not sure what it was. I know he's been hospitalized for almost the past month at Beth Israel up in Boston. Judging by acquaintance I have, Leo Connors does a New England wrestling show. He did an interview show with Kid Krazy back in August of last year, and Krazy basically said, like, this is my last interview I'm ever doing pertaining to wrestling. And mind you, he got out of the business like over 10 years ago because he messed up his shoulder. So it just seemed like it was one of those, I'm tired of talking about wrestling at the time, but now looking back, he probably knew that time was ticking. So unfortunately he passed on Saturday. And the real fucking kicker is Maverick Wild had just left the hospital and got the Mav was there visiting because everyone had been going to visit him, and like a half hour later he got the phone call. So at least he was with friends in the last hours of his life. That's all I can say. But I never, like I said, I never got to work on a show with him, but I sure knew of him and shit because same circles all around.
Right.
But just, he was, like I said, he was a staple of a lot of shit around here. And anyone that ever went to an indie show, in the late 90s to, late 2000s, like you knew Kid Krazy, and he lived up to his name. He was one of the few high flyers around here that like really like embrace that moniker. But yeah, we lost another one and it sucks.
So obviously our condolences go out to all the friends and family involved with those two. And yeah, just another harsh reminder that
life is short.
Exactly. That all being said, that wraps up episode 46 of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by a good friend from Mohawk Honda. I think that covers everything, right, JJ?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So I'm Brian Cady. Catch me on Twitter at Brian Cady. He's JJ Alexander. Catch him at JJ_Alexander on Twitter. If you have any comments, gripes, complaints, questions, Brian.Cady at GodzillaMedia.com. That being said, say goodbye to you, JJ.
Goodbye, JJ.